What's going on, YouTube? So this is going to be my Kinhank drive update. When I originally purchased it, it was the old school 12 terabyte drive. Then I also had the what is that called? The I think it's called the Retrobat, not Retrobat. I forget what it's called. The 2 terabyte drive that Chris Coolmod sells for the light guns, the Retro Beast drive, 2 terabyte. So what I did was I purchased a 20 terabyte. I merged those, the 12 and the 2, into the 20 terabyte, and I just kept on adding and adding. Eventually, I grew tight on space, and I decided to upgrade that. I added another 40. I think a couple of months ago I was up to 68 terabytes. So I decided to upgrade the 8 terabyte drive, and I purchased another 20 terabyte. So now I've got 4 20 terabyte drives. So if we go here, this is the main drive. We don't touch this. This is where the Kinhank 12 terabyte and the 2 terabyte Retro Beast light gun drive were dumped, and then I got so this is a 20 terabyte. These are 20 terabytes merged as one, so this is 40. And then this is the latest one. This is where I had my 8 originally. This was an 8 terabyte, and then I purchased a 20 terabyte. I transferred everything over. So you've got a 20, you got 2 20s here, and you've got 120. So this is my Hyperspin setup. So it's currently at 80. I still have plenty of space to play around with. So it's not 80 full, but that's where everything is. Alright, so let me start it up. So I'm just going to go through things that I've added or tweaked. So this is as is. I haven't touched that. Haven't touched this. I did add the Acetronic MP 1000 and all of his games. This came. Acorn was there. That was there. Altered Beast. Some of these I might have tweaked. I originally got this drive March 2024, so it's been a little over a year that I've been messing around with these drives. That came, everything pretty much came with this. Animal Crossing is a new section I created with just the Animal Crossing games. So this does a scan on the All Collections ROM folder, ROM file, and it places everything with Animal Crossing in there. Art of Fighting 2, Art of Fighting Anthology, the collection. It's 1, 2, and 3. Assassin's Creed collection. So basically all of the Assassin's Creed games. All the Atari systems came with the Kinhank. This is something I recently added. This has just got one game at the moment. So this is Jaguar Homebrew. This guy made Mortal Kombat 1 for the Jaguar. Works pretty decent. So I placed it in there. Jaguar CD. I think there were a couple games missing from the complete ROM set. So I got those, I added them. Everything is in there now. Everything works. A lot of these came with the Kinhank, so this one I'm pretty sure came with the drive. Okay, So I've got the Batman collection. This is the all the old school Batman games. So this does a search on the all collections ROM file folder, ROM list rather, for all the old school Batman games. And then this here is the Batman Arkham collection. So the 4 Arkham games that came out for PC: Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, Asylum, and Arkham City. These are all PC games. The Battlefield collection. We've got 1, 5, the original 1, 2, Modern Combat, 3, Hardline. WiiU collection. So all of the BioShock games are in here. Borderlands collection. Same thing. All of the Borderland games. Bonk Adventures. All of the Bonk games. I was into the Bonk games back when I had my actually I still have my TurboGrafx 16 sitting. I don't know if you can see it. It's, where is it? Over here somewhere on the shelf. Bubsy collection. I love the Bubsy games back on the Super Nintendo. I used to play them with my daughter. So I created a Bubsy collection. Call of Duty collection. Basically all of the Call of Duty games. I've got the new one, Black Ops 6. So, basically all of the Call of Duty games. So this is something I created, the Capcom Fighting Collection. This was originally, this actually was released not too long ago, so I just created a folder and filtered out for the games that came with that collection. This one is coming out, I believe it's next week or next month. So I just filtered it out for all the games that come in that collection. Capcom vs. SNK 2 is one of my favorite games. I recently applied the English patch to it. The Dreamcast version was never released here in the States, only in Japan. So someone developed a patch to convert the language. I applied that, and it's great. Now I can read all the comments. It's also got a little section which shows you like the trailer. It comes with the unlock everything code. So it basically the VMU the save for 100%. Capcom Fighting Collection 3. This is just something I put together myself. If they ever did a Fighting Collection 3, this is what I would like to see. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Love that game on the Wii and the arcade, and just some other games in here as well. All Capcom games. Capcom vs. SNK. You've got all the Capcom vs. SNK 2, all the different versions, the PS2, the Xbox, Dreamcast, GameCube. The first part as well, Capcom vs. SNK. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, which I love. So I just placed that in there for fun. And SVC Chaos, which was on the a Neo Geo. It came on the PS2 and I believe also on the Xbox. This one I added not too long ago. It came with the 1000. This is a 2000 version. Castlevania collection that came with the system. This one I had to tweak because it didn't work. So now it works. I forgot. I mean, I've been dabbling with this drive for over a year, but I know it works now. This is a like a phone game type of emulator. So it's got like all these old school phone games. Flappy Bird, Clone Hero. This is a PC game, similar to Guitar Hero and Rock Band. It's got thousands of songs in there. Crash. Cruisin'. Big fan of the Cruisin' series. So I added all the old school N64 games, the arcade versions. What is the other one called? I forgot. Right there, Cruisin' Blast on the Switch. And it's also out on the Techno Parrot, the actual arcade ROM. All the DDR games. The Dark Pictures Anthology. Series of 4 games. House of Ashes, Little Hope, Man of Medan, and The Devil in Me. Great games. These are PC versions. Darksiders, Darkstalkers, the Dead Island Collection. I think there's only 3 games in here. 1, 2, and Riptide. Dead or Alive Collection. All the DOA games for every system. Dead Rising Collection, same thing. All the Dead Rising games. Dead Space. All the Disney games in one place, just to make things easier for when I have like my nieces and nephews, or when my daughter wants to play a Disney game. So it's got everything Disney in here in one place. Makes things easier to find. Disney Infinity. I love the Disney Infinity games. So I've got the Disney Infinity and the Skylanders collection in here. Infinity 1, 2, and 3. These are the PC versions, and then the Skylanders are like the, I think it's all WiiU. The Dream Gear. So these are plug and plays. This was added a couple months ago. From Jim. EGM magazine. Growing up, I used to love these magazines. I used to buy them, and so go in here. It pulls up all the EGM magazines, and then from here I can just click on any one. It opens up, and then from there I can just scroll through the magazine. Emulators is a place where I dumped all the frequently used emulators, or the frequently updated emulators. So I'll just go in here, and then from there, typically I update my emulators, the newer ones, probably twice a week, once or twice a week. I try to keep everything current. ExoDOS, ExoScum and ExoWin31. These are free downloads that you can get. You can just do a search for ExoDOS, and they're just thousands of games put together on a Launchbox build. So if I do ExoDOS, it'll launch Launchbox, and I never really liked Launchbox. I think it takes too long to load up. So here you have all the games that came with this. You can just click on it. It'll If it's installed, it'll play. If not, it'll ask you to install it locally. So that's XO-DOS. The same thing for Scum, VM, and Win30. So the Windows 3.1 and 3.11 games. Family Guy collection. So basically all the Family Guy games. Just put them all in one place. Far Cry, all the Far Cry games. Fatal Fury, Fear collection, Fear 1, 2, and 3. These are the 360 versions. Fightcade, this is the Fightcade app. So if I ever wanted to play with a friend of mine, I can just go on Fightcade. We can play some over here, Mortal Kombat 2 or Super Mario Kart, but there are tons of other games you can pull in and play. Front ends, so these are different front ends that I have. So every now and then I like to use them. They're basically like Hyperspin, but I just prefer Hyperspin. So I've got all the different Play Night setups that I have. PC, PlayStation 2, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox, Series X. I got RetroArch, RetroBat, Steam, TechnoParrot, Xenia, BlueStacks, which is a like a phone game emulator, so that's pretty cool. CoinOps is the Retro Beast. So this is the Chris Cool mod, Retro Beast. And then from here I've got all the light gun games, so you can just scroll through here. Gun apps, got all the Wii light gun games, TechnoParrot. This is mainly where it's at. In here, you've got all the light gun games for every console, PC. It's pretty cool. I use the retro shooters with this. Exit that. Core Type R is pretty cool too. It's an interesting interface. So you've got all the arcades, Triforce, MAME. Let's see if I remember. Okay, so let's see if I remember how to use this. Collections. Okay. Consoles. You've got all the different console games, console systems. You've got handhelds. I think there are a couple games within each of the systems. Epic Store, GOG Galaxy, the Geo4 experience. I can play games through there or update the video card. Drivers. This is the original Hyperspin, not the Attraction 2. And Launchbox. So this is just front ends. FM Town Marty, I actually just finished this a couple of hours ago. This was a big pain in the butt to do. So I've got a lot of the, well, not a lot, but I've got some of the games in here and can trigger them. I haven't figured out yet how to get them to launch in full screen, so I've got to look into that. Like I just said, I finished this probably like an hour or two ago, so launches at that like that, and then I just gotta there we go. Okay, once it does this, now I can make it bigger, but looks good. Future Pinball did not work when I originally got it. So what I had to do was I had to start the emulator through the, I think it was the emulators folder. And then from there, I started it up locally. I loaded one of the boards, and then it worked through a Hyperspin. So I'm not sure, but it works now. Game guides. It's just like strategy guides for certain games, which I like. So just click on that. It'll load up PDFs. Gamepedia, these are just encyclopedias about the certain consoles, and some other things that are thrown in there as well. So the same thing, it's just click on Genesis, it'll show you about the system, and it'll show you details about the games that were released for that console. So these are the games, this is the system detail. God of War collection. So all the God of War games, whether PC or PlayStation 2, 3, 4, whatever they were released on. Grand Theft Auto was tweaked. Make sure all the GTA games are in there. Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Just a collection of the guitar games. I do have my guitar sitting on the side there. All the Halo games in one place. Harry Potter games. TV board games. So these are plug and plays that were released by Hasbro. This was, I believe this was, yep, this was upgraded not too long ago, well, a couple months ago. They released a newer version with much more games, so I got that updated. This is a series of slot machines, like when you go in casinos, those newer type slot machine games, digital slot machines. So I got that in there. Injustice, the Injustice games, 1, 2, and 3, and I think I dumped MK versus DC in here, just because it's got some superheroes in that game too, so I consider it part of that collection. Jax plug and plays. I love my Jax plug and plays. I have over 100 of them currently boxed up because I have a lot of stuff down here, but I used to play these a lot with my daughter. So if I press A, okay, so let's start up Spider-Man. And I'm just using, I don't know, I'm just using this GameSir controller. It's wired. So each game has several games within it. Each plug and play, rather, has several games in it. So I'll just exit this. Okay. Jack's Game and Key. This was like an additional cartridge that came for certain Jack's plug and plays, which you can plug in and it'll give you additional games for that plug and play. The Just Dance collection, all the Just Dance games. Every Lego game made to date is in here. whether console, PC, everything. Little Big Planet collection. All the Little Big Planet games. All the Luigi games. I think this came with the system, I'm not sure. Mario Kart came. Mario Party I did add. I believe I added this. This has got all the Mario Party games. Actually, okay, there we go. 4, 5, and 6. Mario Tennis games. Super Marvel vs. Capcom. This has got Marvel 2, Marvel 3, and then Infinite. So the more recent ones. And then Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This has got all the older ones, all the arcade versions. It's got some other ones like the X-Men games, Gem Fighter, Punisher. Marvel Studios. It's just a series of the movies, so if I click on any one of these, the movie will start up. So these are all the Marvel movies released to date. Mass Effect, all the Mass Effect games, Max Payne games. I think this came with the system, I'm not sure. Metal Gear Solid collection. Mickey Mouse and Friends. Okay, so these are all the Mickey Mouse games. Everything with Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. I know I have another section with Disney, so these games are also in there, but these are just strictly Mickey Mouse games. MS-DOS games, I added a couple. I added Dark Forces. I loved this while growing up. I used to play that. I added Rise of the Triads. I used to love this as well. And I think that was it. I'm not sure. And those work through DOSBox. Xbox. So this came with the system. Just Xbox games, but there were a couple of missing. So what I did for that, I installed Play Night and I just configured it for Xbox games only. So that closes Hyperspin and it launches Play Night, and this is a complete collection of Xbox games. The original Xbox. Xbox Magazine, 360. So these are all the 360 games that came with the Kinhank drive. Xenia. This is the Xenia Canary Manager, or the Xenia Manager, and this is a complete 360 collection minus sports games. I didn't bother getting sports games. So when I trigger them, they work through Xenia Canary. These are all the 360 Connect games, 360 Xbox Live, the arcade games. So if I trigger this, so the same thing with the Connect. It's just they're filtered out for those specific type of games. Xbox One is something I created. So just a couple of the Xbox One games that I have. Series X. So this has some of the newer games like South to Midnight's, Split Faction, Avowed. And then I've also got the Play Night version of Series X. Just make sure it's closed. Okay. Xbox Game Pass. Just a couple of games from. This is pulling from 360, Xbox One, and Series X. So just a handful of games for each of the Xbox systems. Mortal Kombat collection has been tweaked. I added all the Mortal Kombat games, just added one of each. So they're all in there. Mugen, I added some games in here. Naruto collection for my godson who's into Naruto. PC Engine Mini. I'm not sure if this came with it or if I added this. Turbo 16 Mini, Turbo Graphics CD, Nickelodeon, all the Nickelodeon games for every console. Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, this is the one that came with it, and then Azahar, which is the 3DS emulator. This has got, I'm not going to say it's a complete collection, but it's pretty complete. This is the eShop, so Nintendo 3DS eShop. It also triggers the emulator to start up, and then it's filtered out for just eShop games. N64 Mini, just if it were to ever come out. These are like some of the games that I would consider or should have come out. I know this wasn't made by Nintendo, so it might be hard to put that one in there, but it's one of the best games for the console. Nintendo 64 HD. So these are a couple games that I found. I guess they upscaled the graphics, or they made them look nicer. Place that in there. N64 Europe, N64 Japan. Bunch of games that never made it to the States. N64 Hacks. You've got some pretty cool games in there. No Mercy Plus, Mario Odyssey, Simpsons Kart, Slasher Kart, Smash Melee Remix, Super Luigi 64. So, a bunch of cool games. N64 manuals, same thing. It triggers off the PDFs to load. Nintendo Amiibo, I forget what this, oh, okay, great. So this is just like a collection, Amiibo collection type of app. So you can just click in here and just click on whichever one you have. So it'll show you which ones you're missing. Pretty cool. I have Amiibos above the TV, you can't see them, but I have some there. A 3D Sen. So this takes some of the old school NES games and tries to make them 3D-ish. Some of them look alright, some of them just don't look right at all. Famicom Mini. The Game & Watch, this I recently updated, so I changed it around. I changed the emulator, changed the ROMs. So let's see, what's a good one? Mario. Let's see what this actually, Cement Factory, this is pretty cool. Some look like this. I don't like this. The ones that look like this I'm not too big on. Some of them, let me see if it's this one. Some of them actually show you the console. There you go. So some of them you can play as if you're holding the console. It's pretty cool. Game Boy. GameCube. This is GameCube Japan. GameCube Europe. GameCube manuals. Nintendo Power. So every issue of Nintendo Power. Super Famicom Mini. Super Nintendo Homebrew. Okay, so it's got a couple of homebrew games. This one's pretty amazing. This is pretty good. Actually, they're all pretty good. Classic Kong, I loved it. Dottie Flowers was pretty awesome too. Start one up just for fun. Super Nintendo version of the original Donkey Kong, which was never released. It looks pretty amazing. And I just pressed start and select on the controller to get back out. It closes the game and puts you back on the wheel. Super NES prototypes. These are some prototype games. They might have been released. Some of them were not released. I know this one here was never released, but it is playable. Every Super Nintendo fighting game. This was my favorite system, and I used to love collecting fighting games for it. So this is every fighting game ever made for the console. Super Nintendo manuals. This came with the Kinhank drive. This I added. This is just a Play Night. It loads up Play Night and some of the more favorite games that I like. This is a section for my daughter. Just makes it easier for her to access some of her favorite games. This triggers off the emulator, where I can select any game in my collection. This is the Nintendo Switch eShop. So this triggers off the emulator, and you could only see the eShop games. This is just for fun. I placed that in there. There's nothing really. If you trigger them, it triggers off the Switch version, so World will trigger off Mario Kart 8. Virtual Boy Homebrew, okay. So here I've added two. I added this Super Mario, which is pretty fun to play, and the Street Fighter, which is pretty amazing. Wii, I tweaked it. There were a couple of games missing that I wanted, so I added those in there. I got Wii Japan. This triggers off the emulator and the Dolphin emulator, and I have the complete ROM set in there. Just a WiiWare Games, Wii Hacks. I forgot where Wii Hacks is. Okay, so just a couple of games that were hacked. This is pretty awesome. This is the Revolution board. I believe only two games, either one or two games, were ever released on this. This is the Nintendo arcade board, and Tatsunoko vs. Capcom was one of the games, if not the only game, that was ever released for this board. So this is a modified version of Dolphin. Even the character select is a little different than the Wii version. So you got everyone's unlocked in this version. Yeah, let me get out of there. Let's see if I remember how to get out. Okay. WiiU, this is also tweaked. Complete ROM set has been added in here. CMU, this triggers off the emulator. The WiiU Shop, this also triggers off the emulator, but just for the Wii U Virtual Console games. Nokia N-Gage, this was a pain in the ass to configure. So I'll press that, it closes out, and then it triggers off Retro Bat. And then from here, I can just click in here, I guess. There we go. From here, I can play any of the N-Gage games. Close that. Open this. Pac-Man Championship Edition. This is just the 1, 2, and Champs. I believe this is it's either the PC or the Switch version. Radio Japan. A couple games never made it to the States. Radio Homebrew. Oh, Mortal Kombat 2. The only one in there. PC games. This is probably where most of the space on these drives goes. So let's go to, I guess, here. So I'm just going to go through this fairly quick just so you see some of the games in there. Quiet Place, A Way Out, AEW. All the Batmans, Battle Fantasia, great game. I love this fighting game. Battlefield, Bioshock, Blue Estate. This is a fun game to play with the retro shooter, the light gun. Brothers, Burnout Paradise, Chained Together was pretty fun. Warzone, Black Ops 6, Casting of Frank Stone, pretty fun game. Beat that. Cuphead was fun but hard. There are hundreds of games in here. I can spin this wheel for quite some time, so just close that. I also have these games in a different view if I wanted to see them. I'll just start up Play Night, and this is the PC version. All my PC games of Play Night. So I can also access them through here. All the Pikmin games. Pinball M. This is a fun pinball. It's got all the pinball games, all the pinball tables for this Texas Chainsaw, Chucky. It's got a bunch of them in there. Pinball FX. All the tables are in there. Pinball FX 2. This came with Kinhank. Pinball FX 3, I think, also came with it. Okay, so Play Night PC. This triggers off the Play Night, which I just showed you. Plex. This triggers off my home media server. And then from here, I can just start up any movie or TV series. So if I go to, where are we going? Movies. I've got 18,656 movies. Or if I go to TV shows, I've got 4,088 complete TV shows, series, and episodes. PlexAmp is just my music media server. So in here, where do I go? Albums. I can pull up any album that I want. So let's say I wanted Michael Jackson Thriller. I'll click on that. Shows me all the songs on that album. Power Instinct, another great fighting game series. All the games are in there. Princess Peach, this was more like for my daughter. I think there are only 3 or 4 games in here. So, Showtime. I'm not sure why it's listing this twice. I have to look into that. This is a Nintendo, Super Nintendo hack. And then this was for the DS. Pretty fun game. Punch-Out. All the Punch-Out games. Quantum Dreams. Detroit Becoming Human. Fun game. Heavy Rain. Great game. Beyond Two Souls. Great game. Those are all PC versions. Radica Arcade Legends. These are plug and plays. So, a series of plug and play consoles that were made. Radica Plug TV. Play TV, rather. Same thing. More plug and plays. Ratchet and Clank Collection. Rio Links. This just opens up my home camera systems. So from here I can just, let's see. Boom. There we go. Retro Beast. This triggers off the Chris Cool Mod 2 terabyte drive, which I showed you earlier. Retro Game Systems. These are more plug and plays. Ridge Racer Collection. Retro Launcher. This is where I tweak some of the systems. Rockman Classics. These are just the Mega Man games, but the Japanese version. So, the Rockmans. Samurai Showdown Collection. We've got all the Samurai Showdown games. Scum VMs, some great games in here which I used to play with my daughter. My daughter is the Freddy Fish. There were a couple of other ones. The Blues Clues. Tons of great games. The putt games, I used to definitely play these. 32X, Sega CD 32X, the combo. So these are the games that were released for, it came with the cartridge and the CD. Sega Channel, so just a couple of the Sega Channel games, or games that were released on the Sega Channel. Sega Dreamcast. This is Dreamcast Japan. Redream. This pulls up the emulator and a complete ROM set. So just scroll through, everything is in there. Dreamcast manuals, Dreamcast indie games. We got some great shooters in here. Dreamcast magazine. So this triggers off. Oh, I have to click on the left here. Dreamcast magazines. And then there was another section. Let me see if I can find it. This here. So Dreamcast demo discs, which are pretty cool. So these are the demo discs that were released for Dreamcast. You can click on any one of them, it'll load up. And then from here you have like a bunch of demo games to choose from. That's pretty cool. Sega Saturn Japan, a bunch of Japanese games never released in the States. Sega Saturn Europe, Triforce, this was updated. Now it's got Mario 1 and 2 in one place. All the Shinobi games, Sly Cooper Collection, Neo Geo AES, Neo Geo Station. I think these are just fighting games. Yep, just fighting games released on the AES. CD, MVS, Mini, PlayStation Mini, DuckStation. This pulls off. This triggers the emulator. Complete ROM set in there. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 2 Japan, PlayStation 2 Europe, PlayStation 2 Play Night. This is a complete PS2 collection minus sports games. I've got like one or two version of each. So one version of Madden, one version of NHL. PS3 emulator, PlayStation Network, PlayStation Move, PS4 Pro. This I tweet. Yes. No, I did not tweet this. This is the one that came with it. These are PC games. I've got Play Night PS4. This is the actual emulator, the Shad PS4, and these are actual PS4 games which get triggered. PlayStation VR, so we had a couple of VR games. PS5, this I created. Got a couple of games in there. These are all PC games that were released on the PS5. Play Night, PS5, PlayStation VR 2, a couple of VR 2 games. PlayStation Now, this is their streaming service. So this pulls PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. So they're in there somewhere. There you go. PSP, PS Vita. This I also added well, not a complete ROM set, but a lot of the ROMs. Actually, I don't even think this came with the system. I added this later on. This triggers off the emulator, Vita 3K. All the Soul Calibur games, great games. South Park games, Spider-Man, all the Splatoon games, SpongeBob, Star Wars, the 30th, let me see. Okay, so this is just the 30th. They released this on PC, so I just filtered it for those games. Sunsoft Collection, I think there's only 2 games in there. Galaxy Fight and Waku Waku. Smash Brothers, Submissive Games, Supermassive, The Quarry, Until Dawn, Casting of Frank Stone, House of Ashes, Little Hope, Madame Badon, and Devil in Me. What was it called? Supermassive. I thought it was Submissive. Supermassive. Excuse me. Takara E-Pitch. This is just plug and play games. Takara Paparia. Memorex Video Information System. Not too familiar with this console. Looks like an educational type system. Tekken Games, Techno Parrot. This one came with the system. This triggers off the emulator. And from here I can just select whatever game I want. I can add games or update the emulator if I wanted to from here. Telltale Games, so all the Telltale games ever released to date. Batman's, everything, Walking Dead. Technodrome, King of Fighters, I think this was also tweaked, yep. So this is up to date, all the King of Fighters games only. So these are the 3 brand new games that came out, or brand newish. So you've got the regular one, Tomb Raider, Shadow of Tomb Raider. You've got Rise of the Tomb Raider and regular Tomb Raider. So these are the newer Tomb Raider games. Great games. You definitely need to try those. These are the older Tomb Raider games. Tony Hawk Collection. This, there was something messed up. It was not pulling the PS1 games, so I had to tweak, I think it was the ROM list, and now it's pulling the PS1 games in there. Uncharted, all the Uncharted games. Virtual DJ. This triggers off my Virtual DJ. I do have a Newmark turntable, and then from there I can just pull in any song off of my music server and go to town. Virtual reality. Connect my Oculus headset. I've got all my VR games in here. Visual pinball. This is pretty cool. These are either movies or game related tables. So let's do Mortal Kombat. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, boom, and boom. Okay. There you go. Shoot the tail. Okay. These are all homemade tables, so some of them are pretty cool. Come on, let me hit it. All right, so that's that. Let me close that. This was recently added to. I'm not familiar with this console. The V-Smile. It's like a kid's learning system. Another system, Socrates, made for kids. WiiU Collection, Windows 98. So just a bunch of Windows 98 games. Windows XP games. This was pretty cool. I remember when this came out. World Heroes Collection. Love these games on my AES. So this is the WWF WWE collection of games on every console. And then the wrestling collection here is just every wrestling game made. So whether WCW or just generic wrestling games. This is the N64 hack. Pretty fun game. All the old school characters are in there. Yet another rhythm game. So this is more like Guitar Hero, drum band, rock band. Yoshi, YouTube. This pulls up the YouTube app, and that's basically it. That's all my tweaks. If I'm missing something, or if you feel if there's like a PC game that you think I should try out, feel free to let me know.